Hey guys, I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and it's the dogfight that you've been waiting for. Google Nexus S, T-Mobile myTouch 4G, T-Mobile's flagship device, Google's flagship device, and the second Google Experience device after the Nexus 1. It still runs on T-Mobile, so it's a battle not only between two phones, but a battle between two phones on the same carrier. 1 GHz processor, 1 GHz processor. Both have 5 megapixel cameras, running Gingerbread, running Froyo. So, which one's the best? Last but not least, before we move into some other things, let's take a look at the home screens. You get 5 home screens on this device. You know, stock Android comes with 5 home screens, and 7 on this one, although at the moment it's only showing 5. Out of the box it shows 5, and you can access those by either swiping, and you can see the little status bar that's sliding with me, or you can pinch, and you can see the 5 there. Now, it looks like it has 5. It's actually expandable to 7 through the settings. You can personalize and click expand from 5 to 7. Now once you go to 7, you can't go back to 5 without doing a home or without doing a reset. So keep that in mind if you just want 5. But still, 7 on this one, 5 on this one, and hey, I have voicemail. Somehow I always end up with voicemails on all of my demo phones. I don't know if it's because people just want to talk to me because I'm awesome, or it's probably just people that had the number before. Anyway, 5 on this one, 7 on this one, and that's that with the home screens. Now, let's take a look at the widgets. You know, again, stock Android device comes with stock widgets. You know, the analog clock, you remember that from stock Android calendar, and then downloaded programs like Facebook. Google Voice comes pre-installed on this, and so you get the widgets with that. Typical home screen tips, music. This is one of my favorite widgets in the world. Google's News and Weather widget. You actually have the option of 3 widgets: the News widget, the Weather widget, or the combined widget. And you can see on my home screen I actually have the weather displayed at the moment here. So that's a pretty cool touch. I do like that when it came with Android 2.1 on the Nexus 1, and it's carried its way up, and it's actually available on this one as well. It didn't come to the carrier versions until Android 2.2, and actually I'm sorry, it does not come on this one because it's a myTouch. If you get the Evo, the Droid X, any of those that are running 2.2, it is on there. For whatever reason they excluded it on the myTouch. But pretty cool that you get that, and then of course your YouTube widget and things like power control and things of that nature. Now on this one, you know, because it's HTC, you do get a few customized widgets. You can get some T-Mobile widgets as well, like the app pack, and then you have 2 calendar widgets, the stock Google one, and then the pink one that you see, HTC's calendar widget, Faves and Family widget, another T-Mobile one, hands-free mode, another T-Mobile Genius-based one, FriendStream, which is HTC's social aggregation tool, where you can see Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, all those from one application. Media Room, your typical Android ones down through here. Twitter for HTC Sense, and then YouTube as well. So, you know, I do like HTC. One thing they've done a fantastic job of, and I do have to give them credit for, their widgets are absolutely fantastic. They're beautiful. Like if you do the clock widget, I know you've seen this a million times, but if you do the clock widget, take a look, you know, for example, at this one, absolutely gorgeous. Clock widget shows the weather, very cool there, you know, easy to read, easy on the eyes, and then the weather's animated, so when it's raining, raindrops appear on the screen, etc., etc. Pretty cool there. And then you can see other ones like messaging, and they're clean, they look good, and in my opinion, they're far better than the stock Android widgets. Now that said, you know, again, you can download some cool widgets from the marketplace, Android market rather, but you know, still they're not the best in the world. We can select that, and you can see like messaging, for example. That's pretty cool. So moving on, let's take a look at the keyboards. You know, Android 2.3 Gingerbread comes with a revised Android standard keyboard, whereas this one, even though it's 2.2, it doesn't come with the stock Android keyboard. It comes with HTC's custom keyboard, and you can see in messages, we'll compose one. That's what the keyboard looks like on HTC devices. You remember it from the Evo and a couple other HTC high-end, mid-range Android devices. That's what it looks like. It's the same keyboard, and you can use it in portrait or in landscape. So that's a nice touch, and it works. You know, it's one of my favorite one of my favorite keyboards. Rather, hey there. No, let's do the Fox. The quick brown Fox is ready for the weekend. So I mean, easy to type, very fast, responsiveness good, very tactile. and always been one of my favorite keyboards. So this one comes with a stock version of an Android keyboard, but it's a revised version. I've been using SwiftKey because I'm going to be honest with you, I can't stand, or don't care for, let me do it in friendly terms, I don't care for the new Android keyboard. If you remember the old one, I think the keys are very short, or they're definitely shorter and definitely fatter. Some people love it, you know, they say it's improved when it comes to responsiveness. I don't like it, maybe you will, but that's what it looks like, and you can see. There we go. So, you know, a couple of errors made in that, but you can see again the theme orange, and then the cool, you know, there's some cool features like you double tap, select the word, and you can select, then you can pinch the little indicators there and move back and forth amongst the amongst your text. So if you wanted to highlight it all, bam, you highlighted it all. You can delete that way. So pretty cool. And you can go back into individual words. You can type and then make it therefore instead of there. Things like that. Now it works in landscape mode as well, and I actually need to turn off what I keep it set to by default. The let's see here, display, auto rotate screen, so you can see it in landscape mode. That's what it looks like in landscape mode. Now there are a couple other options from the Android market, and you know this is how it comes out of the box. But I've been a real fan of SwiftKey, which is you know I didn't like it before. I thought it was pretty ugly, honestly, and they've improved the way it looks, and it looks a lot like the HTC keyboard, and I've been very pleased with it. I think it looks good. It's clean, and it's one of the better keyboards. But in terms of the stock one, don't really care for it. So we need to jump into the camera, the individual cameras real quick. Not only do both of these have front-facing cameras, but they both have 5 megapixel rear cameras, and both have flashes. So camera-wise, you know, I've been very pleased with both of them. I have to give the slight edge slightly to the Nexus S in the camera department. I think Samsung's done a fantastic job with their cameras. One area where they excel, I mean they excel in a lot of areas, not just that, but that's one of the areas. Now the one place I have to ding the Nexus S is there's no physical camera button, so when you click it you have to hold and you hope your hand doesn't shake. You know, I mean I shake my hand a little bit and it, you know, it'll take a blurry picture, so you know you can see as opposed to something like this where there is a physical camera button, I could come down here, zoom up on it, and snap the picture. So again, tough, very tough call, but I have to give it just by hair to the Nexus S on the camera front. You know, again, you look at this, and if you've seen stock Android, you'll notice similarities here. Very, very stock, with the exception of the new ability to select your camera from between back and front. On this one, again, since customizations, you can go to your gallery, and then you can see some of the customized settings down here. Or you can click menu and see self-timer, image adjustments, white balance, resolution, things of that nature. So not a stock build, you know, again, depends on what you like. I like the consumer friendliness. I know I keep harping on that, but I think this one's easier to use, but the picture quality on this one is much better. Let's get into the meat of it now. What you've been waiting for the entire review. You're like, hurry up and get to it, man. Quadrant standard. Let's see which one is the fastest out of these two devices. We'll open up quadrant standard, and we'll run the benchmark on both of these devices. So while it's running, you know, I'll tell you, with both of these, call quality is great on both of these. I've been very pleased. Oddly enough, both of the earpieces are very loud. I like the fact that the Nexus S is kind of contoured to your face, that little curved display. I thought I was going to hate it. And it's funny because I wish you could have been here when I looked at it, and I was like, man, this phone is super ugly by looking at the pictures, but it's really impressed me. It looks much better in real life. And I like the contour. So, you know, again, pretty cool there. Call quality's been good. Tested the speakerphone of both of these. This one I think in a coffee shop, and this one I think was at a gas station, if I remember right. It's been a while since I actually reviewed this. And it was both were very good. I don't know why it does that, but it doesn't like quadrant standard for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just not optimized for gingerbread or what, but we'll start that back up again. So let's take a look at the myTouch 4G. It's at 1856, as you can see there. So that one's at 1856. Let's see what the Nexus S comes up at, and we'll take a look there. Data speed, you know, 4G device, this is HSPA Plus capable. Oddly enough, this one is not. It's HSPA capable, not HSPA Plus capable. So that's a frustration for people that really want that 4G speed, and quite frankly, I'm surprised that Samsung and Google didn't pick up on that. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, sorry about that. For whatever reason, it does not like quadrant standard. I don't know if it's because of the software or what it is, but let's see. It finally had the benchmark results, and it comes in at drum roll, sending benchmark results. Come on. Okay, 1663, wah, 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 sad trombone, rah, 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 as opposed to 1856 on the myTouch 4G. So in speed test, the myTouch 4G wins. You know, again, this one's had a lot of issues with quadrant standards, so I wouldn't really take this as an official speed test, but just looking at these numbers, and I don't know, I mean, in general use as well, the myTouch 4G performs a little bit better, in my opinion, than the Nexus S in day-to-day use. Are they both great? Sure. I mean, I've been very pleased with the Nexus S too, but I'm just saying I've noticed a little bit faster, like something will load a second faster on the myTouch 4G. Is that, you know, normal consumers going to notice that? No. But something I noticed, and something if you're a phone person, you're going to notice as well. Let's take a look at the speed test. Speed test test. Speed test test. Okay, both loaded up on Charlotte. We're going to begin the test, and let's see here which one is the winner of the speed test. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. You know, it's funny. With the Nexus S, I've seen speeds, I say, between 2 and 4 megabits per second, and then, you know, upload speeds of between 1 and 2, somewhere in there. But you can see, I mean, HSPA plus device, HSPA device, and those are pretty neck and neck. I mean, I have a cell site. Literally, I can see it from the window of my office, and it's, you know, it's an HSPA plus enabled cell site. So this should be getting HSPA plus enabled speeds. There's no reason why it shouldn't. And you can see actually right now the Nexus S is running faster. You know, I've been having, you know, constantly in Charlotte, and I don't know if it's just a Charlotte market thing or what, but the HSPA has been well under, you know, 4.5 megabits per second, with the exception of some occasional bursts. So, you know, keep it in mind. I mean, you know, for me, I mean, as you can see right here, this is the HSPA plus device, or HSPA device, 3G, and it's moving faster than the HSPA plus device, or 4G. Like I said, you know, we're a 4G market, that's a 4G cell site. Literally, I can look out my window and stare at. So keep that in mind, you know, for people that are like, well, it's not 4G. I mean, the speeds are still pretty decent on the Nexus S. You know, so keep it in mind. About 2.6 megabits per second on this one, about 2.5 on this one. So, you know, again, third times the charm. Nexus S still wins in the speed test department. Hare, tortoise. So keep that in mind. So I have to give I have to crown the Nexus S as the winner, at least right this second, in the speed test. But when it comes to actual use, you know, don't get me wrong, both of these are great devices. You're not going to be, or at least in my opinion, you're not going to be displeased with either of these devices. If you go with this one, or if you go with the myTouch, yeah, I think you'll be very happy. That said, you know, I'd have to give the slight edge. If I had to award the dogfight, I'd give the slight edge to the myTouch 4G. I still think the combination of features, the combination of the appeal to consumers on this device is makes it a far better choice across the board. I mean, in this business, it's all about what sells, and it's all about what sells to the highest number of people. The myTouch 4G is that device. Is this a great device? Absolutely. Do I like this device? Absolutely. Well, I like both of these, but you know, that keeping in mind that one, it's going through Best Buy and Best Buy alone. That's the only sales channel that they're selling this in, Best Buy and BestBuy.com. So that immediately cuts off a large amount of T-Mobile subscriber base. Second of all, it's running stock Android, whereas this is running Sense. So for a first-time Android buyer, if my mother was to come to me and say, which one of these would I buy? I'd instantly recommend myTouch 4G. Even an intermediate user, I'd still recommend the myTouch 4G. This is for people, for developers, for people that like to tweak Android, for people that like to root their devices. You know, and while they're doing a better job this time around of going to Best Buy versus selling it through Google's online web store, I still question whether that's enough as opposed to just selling it at a T-Mobile retail store. I go anywhere in the United States, walk into a T-Mobile store, I can buy this. I have to go to Best Buy or BestBuy.com to buy this, so the visibility is automatically lower. You know, will it make a difference? Who knows? But I'd be willing to guess that just on sales numbers alone, this will be long term. This will be the higher seller than the Nexus S. So both great devices. Just depends on what you're using your phone for. Much more coverage to come. Google Nexus S, myTouch, HTC, T-Mobile myTouch 4G on PhoneDog.com. Keep it locked here, and if you didn't catch the unboxing, be sure to check it out. I've done an unboxing, 2-part review of this device and Android 2.3 walkthrough, so be sure to check it out on PhoneDog.com or YouTube.com/PhoneTog. Like us on Facebook as well, Facebook.com/PhoneTog. We're actually giving away 2 Nexus S phones right now, so be sure to like us. That's all you have to do. One giveaway on Friday the 17th, one giveaway on the 22nd, both at 8 p.m. For more details, Facebook.com/PhoneTog, and enter to win an iPad or a tablet as well. Follow me on Twitter, phonedog_Aaron. Ask me any questions you have about these devices, or any question in general. Why is the sky blue? Why do I use a black backdrop when I have two black phones? Why do I use so many lights? Why is my hair so cool? I don't know. Whatever. Ask me, phonedog_Aaron. Thanks for watching. Keep it locked on phonedog.com for continuing coverage. We'll see you next time.